Forget the old idea of meritocracy. A new reality is hardening. A permanent asset-rich class is locking down wealth and power. For everyone else, the dream of home ownership and security is slipping away. This isn't a glitch in the system, it's the system calcifying into hierarchy, leaving most of us locked out. How is it happening? Three forces drive it. First, exponential concentration. Wealth compounds at the top, pushing ownership out of reach for the majority. Nationally, home prices in 2025 rose just 3.3% year over year, the slowest pace since 2013, and yet, in outlying areas around major metros, appreciation often surged 7 to 18% annually, meaning prices could double in a decade or less. Meanwhile, wage growth for service workers in those same metros is stuck at 3.8% nominal, barely 0.8% after inflation. The real result? Commuters earning low wages are priced out of both the cities where they work and the surrounding areas they flee to. Number 2. Dynastic loopholes. Tax codes and legal tricks preserve inherited fortunes instead of creating new ones. With stocks averaging 10% annual returns, wealth doubles every 7 years. Over a 49-year investing lifespan, roughly age 30 to 79, that's 7 full cycles of doubling. Even if the ultra-wealthy paid the full 40% estate tax at death, a single cycle of compounding more than replaces it. Estate taxation barely scratches the surface of what compound interest achieves across a working lifetime. Number 3. Institutional decay. The very institutions meant to ensure fairness weaken under elite influence. Legislative capture. In 2024, Congress passed over 6,000 earmarks totaling $12 billion, buried in unrelated bills, eroding trust in the process. Regulatory capture. Over half of former members of Congress now work as lobbyists or consultants, turning regulators into insiders. Enforcement tilt. Since 2000, corporate settlements increasingly include no admission of wrongdoing clauses, proof that accountability is negotiable for the powerful. Apparently, this is all business as usual. Nothing to see here, just politicians outperforming the stock market and stacking CEO levels of fortune on a public salary. Somehow, why it matters. Unchecked, this creeping aristocracy doesn't just make us poorer. It corrodes the rule of law and the open economy itself. When people believe the game is rigged, two reactions emerge. The justification. Elites insist inequality is earned merit, even as entry-level jobs demand years of experience only nepotism can provide. The resentment. Younger generations, burdened by debt, converge in anger across the political spectrum. That frustration is justified, but it hardens into pure rage. The solutions may undermine the fairness they seek. As older generations pass, these resentful groups could gain power and reshape society in ways that deepen instability. The stakes. The path forward requires moving past resentment and embracing ruthless clarity. We identified 3 mechanisms: Exponential Concentration, Dynastic Loopholes, and Institutional Decay. These are not accidents. They are leverage points to preserve any semblance of an open market. We need to focus our attention and our capital on demanding reform at those points. If the goal is a truly free market, one where opportunity isn't inherited, then we must demand more than symbolic gestures. We need structural solutions. For example, progressive land value taxation to break housing speculation. As land increases in value above the ability of people to live on it, the taxes should increase to encourage the demolition of single-family homes in favor of high-density property. Fundamental inheritance reform to stop dynastic pipelines from not only hiding their assets, but paying so little it does nothing to prevent their permanent installment. And finally, bipartisan influence peddling reform, or anti-corruption stuff, to eliminate the obvious financial pipeline from government to wealth to the sale of influence. These are the economic facts that can break the exponential curve of the asset-rich class. The system isn't evolving toward fairness. Therefore, it must be forced toward it. Either we change these things now, or else the next generation may pursue a much more radical approach. And judging by the kind of rhetoric that wins elections recently, I wouldn't bet on it being pretty.